So, am I right to say that you almost see yourself, right, like uh, a professional, an expert in your own work? That you
Mm.
have a important role to play in the family, and you know how to do this well. Do you take pride in your work?
Yes, yes. I mean, I've earned this, um I've been doing this, like, I can say I'm professional as domestic worker already, because I've been with 13 families. So those 13 families have different needs, different, routine every day, different culture, but I'm always the same person, you know. If I go to this family, I'm always be the same person as from the other family. The only thing that I will adjust is that what are their needs, you know. So I always put them first before me. They need to trust me first before I can trust them. I cannot say that, oh, you don't trust me. They need to trust me first. So I will do everything so that they will trust me. So I've experienced with my employers, with my expat employers, to, you know, we discuss things on the table, on the dinner table, discussing their work with me, talking about their bosses with me. So I like it that way because it enhanced my speaking ability, you know, and it add up like, oh, this is what you do. So sometimes they will accept like my advices too to them, you know. So I always wanted to, when I was working in Singapore, I've always wanted to build a very good relationship with my employers. And it proves that, it all went well because even until now that I'm here, we're still sending messages with each other. They were all very concerned about what happened to me. Even their friends are sending me messages like, oh, Sasha said this thing happened to you. So how are you now? So I really appreciate those gestures that was given to me.
That's
The
very
only thing that,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, from their friends, I had this experience like very, I from my Black American employers, we have a guest like the families came. I think it was before summer, so she invited everyone. So I went and opened the door. So everybody like give kisses. So I'm included there too. Hi, this is Robina. Oh, hi. Even her bosses too from PNG, the CEOs. Yeah, they're the CEOs also like they're like my cookies. So I really appreciate those things that my employers that was doing to me. One of my employers has been washing the dishes. Then I said, "Why are you washing the dishes? I will do that. Your visitors are there. No, you go and talk to them. I will stay here because I'm not good with okay. So I just need to go. Yeah, I was never like offloaded, So I just love it. I can tell my employers last time that on Saturdays, like, can I go for mani pedi later? Okay, come back before dinner. We will go out. Those things. So in return, I take care of them. I take care of whatever they need. I'll make sure that they have clothes every day. I'll make sure that there's food every time they come home. Their kids are well fed. They're happy. And yeah, so we get to love each other.
Mm. Tell us about your relationship with the children, especially when they've grown up.
Yes. So, for the last time, my very first employer, I lost contact with the kids already. Um, yeah, even their cousin that I looked after for 7 years. Yeah, they lost contact with this family. But for the second family, the local family, Jasmine, I met up with her before I came home. She knew about what happened to me. And yeah, she was really sad. She said, Nana, you take care of yourself, okay? Then she introduced her boyfriend to me. I said, "How come you have a boyfriend?" Nana, you forgot I'm already 26. Okay, you know. Then yeah, she introduced her boyfriend to me. Then I said, "Just take care of her." And then my expat employers, they still say hi to me. The kids, I'm very close with these two boys. They're Black Americans. Um, he was already a teenager in high school. He was already in high school when I started looking after them and his brother. And then, and then until now, he's already a rapper in the US. He's making his career. But every time he will send me a message on Instagram, he said, "Bina, I love you. I just want you to know that I miss you so much." And then that gives me like, "I love you too, Joe." And then just do well. And then sometimes his mom will tell me, "Can you speak to Joe? Tell him to study first before his career." I said, "Okay, you know." And when he was in Singapore, when he was studying with with I mean in high school, he will bring his friends and he will introduce me to his football friends. This is my best friend. So I'm his best friend. So um I was the first one who knew when he lost his virginity. And he was so mad at me when he had told his mom about it. Yeah. And and his brother, even though he's 9 years old, I still send him 9 or 10. I still send him and pick him up at, in school. So it's all the same thing. I mean, the other families, um, those kids are my friends on Instagram and Facebook. The other one got married already, and yeah, she told me that, "Hey, Vina, I'm getting married." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting old." And the other families came back a few years ago, like 2018, 2017. They came back, and I used to stay in their house on the weekends, and you know uh, chat with her. So my relationship with these kids, and the last one, that my last employer before I came back to Singapore, was not really good. When we did the interview in Lau Pa Sat, I was still with the Dutch
Mm.
employers. I think I remember I told you that they were very, very good to me. I was taking care of two little beautiful girls. Until now, they're still my babies. Every time uh, every time their mom send me photos of them, it just makes me happy. Their mom will say that, okay, just to brighten up your day, here's a photo of the girls. You know. So yeah, they if I will ask these two girls, Sky is 7 now, I think 7, and soon will be 7 on Feb, and then Silver will be 4.
Mm.
So if I ask them, who are Nana's boo-boos? Sky and Silver, you know. So if I ask them like my I told them like a story about some things. If I ask them who are the people in this story, they still know. So yeah, I always have a very good uh, relationship with the kids. Even for the last one, I just didn't have a good relationship with the parents.
Mm. That's right. I mean, the relationship, with the employer is always the employer and the employee, right? But the
Yeah,
children don't care and they don't understand that.
yeah, yeah. It's true. Yeah, I was really sad when I was hospitalized. When I was with this last employer. When my mom messaged me that, can I visit you to the hospital? Can I visit you later? Sure. Can I bring Kara? Please bring her because I miss the little girl. She's 2 years old, so I missed her a lot. So yeah, when she sees me, she was really happy too.
Mm. Can you talk about the social life of domestic worker like yourself? You know, on the weekends, the day off. What do you do?
Okay, before my volunteer days, I used to go to disco. My earlier days in Singapore, it's always disco. Every domestic worker will go to disco.
Where would you go?
Last time, fire was still there.
It's my time
Oh,
also.
the fire disco. Yeah, and in Orchard Tower disco still there. So we will go there on my off days with friends, you know. So that's I think that's our way of, relaxing, enjoying ourselves. And then when I started going to church, when I became a Christian, so now I go to church. So yeah, my friends change. So I spend like on Sundays I go to church. And then I started volunteering. So when I did the volunteering, so yeah, half day volunteer, half day church. So I have meet up with friends here and friends there. So that's what I do. So for me, my routine when I started volunteering, it all changes. So because there were events that I attended, um, if I don't have events, I will go to home office in Lucky Plaza and stay there and at the help desk so that because a lot of domestic workers go on some days and that's the only time they can come and talk to us personally.
Mm,
So yeah, so that's what happens. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's what I do. I normally go out with friends in church, and then the volunteering uh, time, if we have different events or like writing events, yeah, I will attend that meetings and everything. So it all changed. It all changed.
Mm. Right. And alongside the volunteering, you also became very active. You know, right? As you said just now, writing poetry.
Yes,
And when did this begin?
it began on like when I started volunteering because that time after talking to some domestic workers, I got really affected. I really don't know what to do, like how to share this to people. How can I tell them? But once I started writing on social media, it will become a rant, you know. So because anger is in there. So I thought like, why don't I make a poem out of this? So that, I want to do it in a creative way where people can read it and relate into it at the same time because the feelings goes there. And then when I wrote sacrifice the first time, yeah, it felt like a lot of people uh, really relate on that.
Sorry, what is sacrifice?
Sacrifice, the poem I wrote about domestic workers who are mothers who sacrifice, their time away, their time for their children, and how it was really difficult for these mothers to leave their children, be just with this another family
Right,
to
right.
take
Was this
care.
a book?
It's not a book; it's just a poem, but it was
Okay,
it
okay,
was
it's a
not in the
poem. Right, right. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So now on Facebook, there is this migrant writers group, right?
Yeah,
And
migrant
there
writers
are
of Singapore.
and the migrant writers have published several anthologies, poems, and
Yes.
writings.
Yeah. They did column response one, and then we did the column response two. So in call and response two, I'm one of the editors, and I'm one of the contributors here. So what I contributed in this book was a story. Yeah, it was my story when I came to Singapore.
Mm.
It's like my experience. Yeah. Yeah, this story about is about me since I started working here in working in Singapore. Yeah, until like I think it was before 2020. 2020.
Mm.
Yeah.
What is the title of this story?
I forgot. I need to get the book.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other one is I love my job. In
Mm.
our homes, our stories. I love my job. That's how, how I describe my job with my previous families.
Mm. And
Yeah.
do you think it's important, for migrant workers and, of course, domestic workers to use poetry, to use literature as a way to express themselves?
Yes. Yes, it's very important because this is how they learn how to speak up at first. Speak up silently by writing. And then when they ask to read it, then they can start expressing themselves. That's how they learn. I think the other writers have learned that way because at first they were very shy, they don't want to read, they can only write, but now they're very bold.
Yeah, I see that not many, there's many domestic workers, but also the construction workers, the workers from
Yes,
other countries who are also joining into it's become very multinational in a way.
it's true. It's true. There are many migrant workers now who's joining together to join this community. I think they've seen a lot of good things in joining this community, the writing communities, because before the impression of this for this migrant workers, especially the migrant brothers, are just like they will just sit in one corner and then stare at women, and then that's it. But nowadays, there are many of them who's been joining the writing, and then they showed their talent
Mm.
in writing and dancing, and that's really good. When you see, if you watch the migrant workers festival, it's a showcase of different talents of every migrant workers here in Singapore.
Yeah, that's right. So their status in Singapore is as a worker, right? But behind that, they're human beings with a lot of talents and abilities.
Yes, yes, it's true.
So
Okay, okay with
Bing,
him.
I think some of the cultural activities, the poetry, the writing came about during the COVID-19 pandemic. And that really tells us a lot about uh, what happened during the pandemic for migrant workers. What was the pandemic as an experience for you?
Pandemic was really tough time. I think it's for everyone also. But in domestic workers situations, I think it's more um, difficult for us. You I still remember when pandemic happens, when COVID happens. That was the time when my Dutch employer just gave birth. She gave birth before the lockdown, the day before the lockdown. So as you know, like I know there will be mood swings and everything. So I told myself I need to prepare for this because we will all be in the house together. So like big adjustment will be done. So yeah, thankfully, they under they understand our situation, even though she just gave birth. But yeah, we all give into to one another, to the needs of one another. And she did not restrict me to like don't go out. We go out. Like, okay, you need to go for a walk, bring the baby out. So it was easy for me. Though that time I still remember I was interviewed by one of the Street Times reporters, Channel News Asia reporter about some domestic workers not allowed to go out. I said it's not for me because I'm allowed to go out, but for many domestic workers, especially on their off days, on Sundays, a lot of people can go out at time just to exercise the time, right? There's no excuse. You need to exercise, you need to walk, you need to move around when you're outside. So why don't some employers that time allow their domestic workers to just, okay, you can take a rest and go out for a while just to breathe in some fresh air, COVID air, you know, and come back. Yeah. So that was the time when my volunteering time was in the busiest. I got a lot of calls. Home got a lot of calls, and yeah, a lot of domestic workers complain about too much work, too stress. Uh, yeah, they really don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I want to ask a couple of things there. You mentioned they would be at home. I think this is especially during the circuit breaker, but also afterwards when we had
Yeah.
this thing called work from home. Is that a big change for a domestic worker?
Yes, because domestic workers are used of their employers going out for work, and many domestic workers were like, their employers will go to work, go to husband and wife will go to work, kids will go to school, and they will be the only one who will be left at home and do the things, clean the house, prepare dinner. When everybody comes home, then you know, dinner time, snack time. So COVID makes it difficult for everyone. Uh, like for domestic workers, especially the work from home, they see the employers every day. We see our employers every day. And for those domestic workers who cannot go out, it's worse because they can see. And for these employers also who's not using working to do work from home, it's tough for them too because they can see their domestic worker every day. And sometimes when they're frustrated at work, they will bend it down to their domestic workers. So yeah, many domestic workers suffers during the COVID time,
Mm,
and they are not allowed. And many employers did not allow their domestic workers to go out as well.
right. And
Yeah.
for your Dutch employer, how was it difficult for them? And you know,
Um,
in a way that is also difficult for you, sharing the same house.
um, for us, it was not that difficult because I go outside. If they're at home, I go outside. I bring the girls out.
Mm,
During lockdown, we take turns. If I'm not doing anything, if the kids are sleeping, I'll just stay inside my room. Though it's a small condo, and my room is just beside the kitchen, just really beside. When I open my door, it's a sink already. So yeah, um, but they're not fussy, you know, and they want me like they they always ask me to go out. We need some fresh air, like that. So it was easy for me during COVID. Although,
mm,
the lockdown really tested us, the three of us, but we survived.
mm. Do both
Yeah,
of
we
them
survived.
work? Does the
Yes,
wife work also?
yes.
Okay.
So before COVID, I'm just alone at home with the kids. The kids go to school, and then the youngest one is with me. No, the youngest one was not born yet, but the older one. So yeah, it's just us, and then they go to work, and then COVID happens. We all stay, and me and my employer, Sasha, she's quite emotional as well. So yeah, sometimes when she cries, I will cry. We talk about things. She will ask me about my families back home, like how do you deal, how does your family deal with COVID there? So are they okay? You know, yeah. So she was concerned. So it
Mm,
was easy for me during the
mm,
lockdown.
mm,
And I still remember on phase one, we are not allowed to go out, right? Phase two, when it will open, and then She said, "Okay, you can go out now. It's your first off day after the lockdown." You know what she did? She asked me to go to salon and do my hair. Yeah.
It's
So
very
you need to
nice.
be different. Yeah, yeah. She went to the salon first, and then she said, "Do you want to do your hair?" Yes. Okay, you go to the salon first, hair salon. So it was really nice. I was at the salon, and she was the one doing the shopping. Yeah, the supermarket. Yeah,
Then
but
you can tell her how good she is, being a domestic worker.
she, yeah, she learned. No, I remember her asking. My on my first vacation. I'm so sorry about my dog. She
It's
just
all
want
right.
to
It's all
whine.
right.
So on my first when I did my first vacation, she asked about my friends, like, how do you do this? Because she was left looking after her kids for the first time, her daughter at that time, only one. And then, how do you do this? And then she asked me, Being, how do you do like cleaning and looking after Sky and cooking at the same? So she feels like I'm really doing a good job.
Yeah, and tell us about your family in Rizal during the pandemic.
I think it was worst here at that time because they were not really allowed to go out, and only one person can go out at that time here. And luckily for them, I'm still working. So there was no problem about their food and everything because I send them money. Because I think it was for 2 months or 3 months that we are not allowed to go out. So we don't spend money in like when I was in Singapore. So I just send the money here. So uh, they have money to buy food and everything. Although that time, I think it was my daughter who had COVID first. I was really worried, but then she survived it. And yeah, it was. I'm always worried about them too. But I was the one who's thinking about things differently when during COVID. I think a lot of um, domestic workers in Singapore think that way too because during COVID times, a lot of Filipino, maybe the Indonesian too, but for Filipino domestic workers, I've heard a lot of like their family passing, and then normally we need to go home, but then that time nobody can fly, right? Nobody can go back home, so it was really sad for them, and make that gives them depression. And for me too, and my friends, we were thinking like, okay, is this the end of us here? Like, are we going to stay here forever?
Mm.
Will these things change? Because no one knows what will happen next, right? When we were all locked down. And then before we can go back, it took like 2 years, 2021, when everyone is allowed to go. So yeah, it was difficult for many domestic workers because I've heard a lot of bad from many of them, and they were really sad because they were not be able to go and see their families.
Mm. Yeah, wasn't there also this worry that if some of the domestic workers went home, they can't come back again?
Oh yeah, there's so many of them. I know someone who's been yeah, she went back for vacation, but then COVID happens and she cannot come back. Good thing for her was that her employer supported her, so she still gets salary from her employers. And I think it took more than a year before she can go back to Singapore. Yeah, that's what happens to her.
Mm.
And she was very fortunate because her employers were really good to her.
Yeah.
And there were some domestic workers who's been very lucky because that time their employers were in vacations. So they
Mm.
were alone at home for so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know someone like that.
Yeah, it's true, right? So yeah, but sad to say, a lot of domestic workers who's been suffering, you know. I talked to one actually. It happened when I think it was we're allowed to go out already, but not really mingling. So she was about to commit suicide that time.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, she was about to commit suicide because she's been abused by her employers. Like no phones, camera was pointed at her directly when she was sleeping. She was sleeping on the floor, like in one of the like study room, so employers can see her. And she was crying. She was allowed to talk to her family every night, only from 10 or 11 at night, and then morning she will give back the phone to employers until her employers decided to you can only talk to your family on weekends on Sundays, so that gives her like really really stressed. She was really stressed at
Mm.
when she called me before. uh every night she was crying every night until I told her that, can you just stop crying now, or else I want to talk to you. So on the day she escaped, she ran away from her employers. So I directed her to, you cannot go to people's house. We cannot meet because it is not allowed. You can only go to police station. So just go straight to police station. Tell them that you ran away from your employers. This is what so now she's in good employer. She's very
It's good to hear that at least had some good ending.
yeah.
I guess also what the pandemic shows is this long-term relationship, long distance relationship that you have with your family in Rizal. Over these 25 plus years, how did you manage that long-term relationship with your family?
I think it's a way of getting used to it. You know, both me and my family were used to this kind of arrangement.
Mm.
Since we're all decided that time, during the first time I went to Singapore, um, I decided to be there, and um, my parents will look after my kids. And then, yeah, I thought I will only last for 2 years. And then but then 2 years was not enough for every domestic worker, so we need to renew the contract. So it became like 28 years. So even my children were all used to it. I'm the one who's crying, not them. Every time I leave, like last time, I will cry because it's really sad again. I remember my eldest son was saying that, oh, you will be alone again. But then I said, it's okay. Once I get back there, then things will get back to normal. You will go back to your own routine and as well. So yeah, it's we're just used to it, to everything, especially when I moved transferred to one of my expat families who allowed me to go home like every 3 months. I would go home.
Mm.
So yeah, they're used like I'm coming and then I'm leaving again. I think as long as I support them,
Mm.
or yeah, I send money, they have something, they have money to spend. I mean, for their daily needs. I think we're all okay.
Mm.
And I think the social media make it easier for everyone to make long distance relationship works, because in social media now, unlike before, I still remember I thought about it last Christmas. Last Christmas, it reminds me of the time during like year 2000. Because I think it was year 2000 when I had my first cell phone. So I need to top up my SIM card and call my family on the 24th, like morning, because nighttime you cannot contact anymore. it will be busy because a lot of people are calling. There was no social media back then. But nowadays, social media is here. There's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and everything, WhatsApp, Viber. So you can easily call the family for free as long as they have Wi Fi. So we can see them too. So I think that makes it easier. So I think the COVID time, it's good that there was social media the time already. So I think it's all fine.
Did you
What will
used
happen is
to did you used to write letters home?
yes, I write twice a month because when I send, I write letters, and then after 2 weeks, then I will get the response, and then yeah, I will write again, then I will get a response. Normally, my mom and or my dad will send the letter. So after we got the phone, like the social media thing, no more letters, right?
Mm. Can you tell us in terms of working here and supporting your family, how that has benefited them?
Uh, it helps a lot. I mean, working in Singapore helps a lot of uh, them, helps my family because it's good to have a stable job. That's why I cannot leave my job at time. I said no, it's not enough. It's not enough. I got I bought my house with the help of my employers. So at least they have a place to live in. We don't need to rent a house unlike before. So it helps a lot. And then um, it helps in a way that there is at least they're expecting something that will come to them at the end of the month. I know my salary is not enough. Our salary is not enough
Yeah.
anyway. But the family here knows what to do, right? And then I will just send them, and then they will pay whatever it is they owe. And yeah, it will just they will just tell me like we owe this and that, and
Mm.
yeah, I will just send them the money.
Mm.
So whatever what is
I suppose also your children's education.
actually my children did not finish their studies.
Mm.
Um, they have their families, their own families early. It's their choice. I asked them to study. I told them like it is very important to study to finish your school. But then I think that time they choose to have the family. So the way I teach them lessons is that this is your choice. So okay,
Mm.
it means that you don't need my help anymore. Since you choose that, because I can send you to school, but I cannot keep forcing you, and I don't want to waste the money if you're not really going to school. So if this is your choice, then prove to me that you can stand with it.
Mm. What about
But
yourself, Bing? I mean, what are your plans for yourself?
okay, actually, before this cancer happens, I was planning to. I started enrolling. Actually, I'm doing this course like the business entrepreneurship, and then this cancer happens because I was planning to retire in 2 years' time. I'm done. I said, maybe I'm 50 plus. I just need more time to spend with my family. So I don't want to retire when I'm 60, you know, because you'll never know what will happen next. And yeah, it's true. So this cancer happens. So it changes everything, even my plan, even my savings and this and that. It changes everything. So um, my doctor last time said that after the treatment you can go back to work. So it's a positive way of saying that yeah, you will get over this. So my plan now is that because I have a small business here, I started a small business because I'm just thankful for my friends in Singapore who continue helping me because this all came from them. The money that I'm using for treatment and everything was all from my friends from Singapore. They really helped me a lot because when I came back to Philippines, I only have my salary. That's the only amount that because I was not ready. So, but my friends, helped me. So the treatment and everything. So, part of the money I use for to start the business so that I will have something, to pay for my bills,
Mm.
uh, electricity bills and
Mm.
water bills and daily bills.
What business is this?
I started my own brand, like the bag, like a
Mm.
canvas bag that I sell. Yeah. So it's called Blessed Me, the brand. So it's my own. So the designs are all my poems, like part of my poems. Um, like the design I use in my poems. That's the design of the canvas bag
The
that I'm selling.
designs from your poems?
Yeah.
Oh,
Poems. Yeah. Yeah.
oh.
So in my IG, I create like a design, how I want my poem to be presented in a book. So I created that. So when I will, because I still want to do a book with my
Mm.
poems. So I want it to be like that because it's my own, yeah, it's my own design. So I use it in the bag as well. Yeah.
Do you happen to
So
have the bag with you now? Like,
uh not yet. I have photos. I can send it to you later.
okay.
Yeah. Uh
You
I
have
have
photos of the bag. You want to show? You
yes.
want to share on the screen?
I can show you. I don't know how to do it on the screen though.
Ah,
Um
you can send to my WhatsApp.
okay.
Then I can show it.
Yeah. That one. I sent it to your WhatsApp.
Okay. Oh, so many.
Yeah, those are the
So
designs
some
that
of
I
them
do.
have the words, right?
Yeah. So the thing that the
Mm.
words you don't need a reason to help people
Hold
is
on a second. Hold
always
on a second. Let me just show it.
okay.
So that's you, right, on the back?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the frame of yesterday poem. This is the poem that I wrote. Um, I think it reminds me because I used to be a volunteer at National Gallery of Singapore,
Mm.
and yeah, and then we did a project also there as well, and then they asked me to write a poem. So yeah, it is. This is the poem I wrote for them. The frame of yesterday.
This is in English, right?
Yes,
Mm.
and then precious.
Sorry, which one is that?
Uh, that is my face.
Uh,
Rain.
Rain. Okay, let me download that also. That's also a poem,
Yeah,
yeah? Okay.
yeah. Rain is a poem, and then so rain is a sad poem. It's about someone leaving you. Um, Rain is I wrote this during the one of our lessons from I forgot I forgot the one who taught us this one. Yeah, I forgot a lot of things. So yeah, this is my poem that because he said, okay, write something about rain, and then yeah, this is the one that I composed, and then we need to recite it as
So nice. So meaningful also, right? Meaningful for you and also meaningful for whoever buys the bags.
well. Yeah, yeah.
How's the business doing?
Because I just started.
Mm.
Actually, I just started like November, early November. So I asked my church friends in Singapore if they want to buy a bag for like a giveaway for Christmas parties. So they ordered the bags for me.
So they can get the bags from Philippines.
Yes, I
How
can
how
send it to them.
how do they do? You send it to them, right?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
send it. Yeah. So I think I'd rather, like, if a lot of people will order, so I can send it
Mm,
one bulk
mm, mm,
to
mm.
one person, and then can just get it. So this one, yeah, this is like a very personal to me, and I thought, like, like a guy can also use this. So yeah, this is something that I thought that I can
Yeah.
work
So
with.
if any one of the listeners want to get a bag, drop a comment or email me. My email is below, and I'll let the Bing know to make a big shipment to Singapore.
Yes, please. Yeah, because it will help me a lot. I don't know if I can get a job soon, because like this next treatment will be in 3 months,
Mm.
and surgery will happen after that. So we're talking about like half a year, another half a year gone, before I can start to think about what will I do next.
Mm.
So I think for people who will buy this, will just, like, I will really appreciate, because it will help a lot.
Yeah, I hope we can help you with that as well. Bing, do you think you'll be back in Singapore, or you stopped? You won't be working in Singapore anymore. Is that right?
I won't be working in Singapore anymore, but I think there's a plan that I will go back to visit, because someone is doing. I have a friend who's been filming my life since I started. I mean, since this cancer
Ah,
started.
okay.
So yeah, he's been filming this. Yeah, and last November we went back to Singapore for 4 days, because I attended the migrant workers poetry competition, and it's a big thing to me also as well, because I've been joining this competition for 10 years, and my poem was chosen, but I got a consolation, but it's okay.
Mm.
At least I recited this poem. So the poem I recited was the title of the film that we're doing.
Ah, okay. When do you
I
think the
wrote it.
film will come out?
Um, I think it will be 2 years in the making. So
Mm.
yeah, it will not end soon, because he's been filming everything that's been happening to me. So yeah, it's kind of like documentary.
Great. I think you deserve one, definitely, as being one of the pioneer migrant domestic workers. Although it would be nice, really, if we can find those, who came first 1978 all the way back.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Now
it's
they
true.
would be grandmothers. I think they would be. They would be in their 70s. I think.
Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone. Yeah, I wish, right?
That's right. Yeah. I have one last question. I mean, you've
Sure.
come back to Singapore, uh, contract after contract, and part of it was practical, right? You needed to continue to work to support the family. Um,
Yes.
what is your feeling with about Singapore all through these years working here?
Actually, in my own experience, Singapore was really good to me. You
Sorry,
know,
Singapore was really
Singapore was really good to me. It changes a lot. When the first time I came to Singapore, Jurong Point was just opening, because we went to the opening of Jurong Point. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's true. And then it changes a lot. Marina Bay was not there yet. you know. And I like to look at those postcards that shows the what do you call that? The site where the Shenton Way is, you know. So when I lived there, it it was just amazing. Sometimes when I come to think of it, like these are the places I really want. This is my favorite place. That the Canton area, Cantonville
Mm.
area. One of my happiest, most of my happiest moment was there. I
Mm.
really love that
That
place.
was with the Dutch family, right?
Yeah, the Dutch
Right.
families where we went to Lau Pa Sat.
That's
It's
right.
just opposite Lau Pa Sat. So I just love that place. The 5 years staying there was, yeah, I was really happy. And in my own experience, but the only thing that I did not see from Singapore, I think I've said this to some interviews before. Singapore was built with the help of migrant workers, domestic workers, migrant brothers who's doing the constructions, who's doing the buildings. The domestic workers who's been helping the family so that, the husband and wife can go to work, right? And taking care of the kids. So every national day, you will see many like different companies parade on national
Mm.
day,
Mm.
but no migrant workers included in the parade. I just wish now I'm here in the Philippines, but I just wish that Singapore will think about it. Like I think they agree. Many Singaporeans agree. The buildings, look around you, the buildings and everything. It was built with the help of the migrant workers. Yes, you gave us jobs, but we gave you buildings too. We help one another, right? And then there were many lives that were sacrificed. There were many families that were sacrificed, you know. So I just hope that one day, hoping that this 2024, if like there's like very like important person who's been watching this, I just hope that you will think about this thing. Include the migrant workers, the migrant brothers in the parade every year. I've been, I've been saying this to uh, interviews that I take.
Mm. I agree.
I
I
just hope,
think Singapore was built like this too, throughout the history. It was always foreigners who came here to build and
yeah,
contribute to our economy, our society to make it what it is today. So that's a good
yeah,
point. Mm.
yeah. Singapore was beautiful because of the migrant workers. You know, I mean, um, they should think that way. We are included. They should include us in the society, especially on National Day, because we are part of the history too.
Thank you so much, Bing. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Um,
Thank you.
and I
Thank
want
you.
to meet you again in Lau Pa Sat. The
Yes.
next time we should meet there again or somewhere else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. If I happen to come back, I will let you
Yeah, yeah. Look forward to that, and let's keep in touch.
know.
And
Yes.
I wish you all the very best in getting
Mm.
well.
My treatment will start
Mm,
next week already. So yeah,
mm,
wish
mm.
me well, and then maybe I will send you some photos of me being bald because my hair will surely lose. Will
Yeah, I still
come.
remember your curvy hair, your big curvy hair.
Yeah, yeah, I have it, and then yeah, when I asked the doctor, my oncologist last Monday, uh, I said, "Will I lose my hair?" Yes,
Mm,
definitely this
mm,
time. Then I said, "Okay, what to do?" Then he said, "I'm really sorry about these things happening." Then I
mm,
said, "Yeah, I want to live, so yeah,
mm,
just do it."
mm. Yeah, no worries. Hair can come back, and you can
Yes,
come back to
hair.
Singapore. Yeah.
Yes, I will. Yes,
So take care. We'll talk again.
yes, yes.
See you again.
Anytime. Bye.
Bye.